Hi, today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my favorite Array of Faith podcast. So, the first one is about Buddhism by Dr. Heather Sanderson, and the next one is from Swami Padma Abhi and Guru Vami Dasa, who are both Hindu practitioners. Now, Hinduism came first, and Buddhism came after Hinduism, came after. But these two are both known as Dharmic faiths, which is a branch of religions that make up the big five religions, which is Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, which are Abrahamic religions, and then there's the Dharmic religions, which is Buddhism and Hinduism. Today, I'm going to be talking about these two religions. So first, we're going to be talking about the Buddhist episode with Dr. Heather Sanders. So, like many other people, I believed that Buddhism was a theistic religion that had Buddha as its god, but and also Nirvana was like heaven. But Buddha is not God. He's known as a teacher in Buddhism. Buddha was known as Siddhartha Gautama before he ascended to the title of Buddha. He's a spiritual leader and the founder of Buddhism. He lived in ancient India around the 5th and 4th century BCE. He was born a prince, and his family wanted him not to suffer, so they put him in a palace which was devoid of any suffering. But he still did not find true peace. So he ended up leaving his royal life to seek enlightenment and understanding of the nature of suffering. After years of meditation, he finally found enlightenment, becoming the Buddha, which means the awakened one. His teachings focus on the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. Now, the Eightfold Path is one, the right understanding, which is samadhi. This is the understanding of the Four Noble Truths and the nature of reality. And the next one is the right intention, which is sama sankappa, which is cultivating the right motives and intentions. The next three concern themselves with ethical conducts. In Buddhism, is known as sila, which is the right speech, which is speaking truthfully and without lying, not gossiping or using harmful speech. The fourth one is the right action, which is samagamanta, which is acting in a way that's ethical and not harming others, such as refraining from killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct. The fifth one is right livelihood, which is sama ajiva, which is engaging in work that is ethical and does not cause harm. The next three concern themselves with mental discipline, also known as samdihi. The sixth one is the right effort, which is sama vayama, which is making a conscious effort to cultivate a positive state of mind and eliminating negative thoughts. The seventh step is the right mindfulness, also known as samasati, which is being aware and attentive to the present moment, including your own thoughts, feelings, and sensations. And finally, the eighth step is the right concentration, which is known as the samdhi. This is developing a deep concentration and meditating, so having a tranquil state of mind. The point of Buddhism is to achieve nirvana, which is a state of liberation and freedom from the suffering of the cycle of life and death, or the rebirth, known as samaskar in Hindi. Unlike in Abrahamic religions, which have heaven, nirvana represents an end to all desires and attachments, ignorance, and this leads to the ultimate peace and enlightenment. Now that we've talked about Buddhism, I want to talk about the other two podcasts. One of them is with Guru Vani Dasa, and the other one is with Swami Padma Abhi. And these two are both Hindu practitioners. And unlike in Buddhism, which is not a theistic religion, Hinduism is. And their god is, in Hinduism, the god is Brahman. He is characterized as an infinite and eternal, so Brahman is without beginning or end, and he exists beyond time and space. He's formless, and he's omnipresent. He's not limited by form, so which means he's not limited by form and is present everywhere. Another characteristic of him he is transcendent. Brahman is all deities and personal attributes, and he's the source of everything and everything. Now, there's two forms of Hinduism. There is one that focuses on monism, which is the belief that the Atman, which is the individual soul, and Brahman, which is the ultimate reality, are fundamentally the same thing. So Brahman encompasses everything in Hinduism. He is God, and he is present in everything, from you to me, to the animals, to the rocks, the plants, the sky, the sun, everything. That's Brahman. That's a part of Brahman. The other part of Hinduism believes in dualism, or which is known as Dvaita. This is the belief that the Atman and Brahman are distinctly separate entities, with the soul dependent but separate from God. The ultimate goal of Hinduism, like Buddhism, is to end the cycle of birth and death, also known as samskar. And this can be achieved by 4 different yogas. So, Jnana Yoga, which is the path of knowledge and wisdom, Bhakti Yoga, which is the path of devotion and love for your personal God. Then there's Karma Yoga, which is the path of righteousness and action and selfless service. And then there's Raja Yoga, the path of meditation and mental discipline. So, the goal is to find personal peace while at the same time escaping the cycle of rebirth. Now that we've looked at both podcasts, I wanted to talk about some similarities and differences in Buddhism versus Hinduism. Now, the fact that they're both dharmic religions, they have a lot of similarities. For example, their ultimate goal. In Hinduism, moksha, which is a liberation from the cycle of birth and death, is very similar to Buddhism's nirvana, which is the end of that cycle. So they're both trying to escape from the cycle of samskar. But Buddhism is doing it to achieve enlightenment, while in Hinduism, you're trying to have a union with Brahman. They follow a similar path to liberation, where it's not very similar, but you have to live an ethical life, and both of them have a huge portion of their religion have like the importance of yoga or meditation and having righteous actions. But of course, Buddhism has the Eightfold Path, while Hinduism includes the Jnana Yoga, the Bhakti Yoga, the Karma Yoga, and the Raja Yoga. And a glaring difference between Buddhism and Hinduism is that while Hinduism is a theistic religion with Brahman as a god, Buddhism doesn't have a god, so it's not a theistic religion. And while Buddhism has a founder, which is Buddha, Hinduism has no single founder, and it's a diverse and ancient religion that evolved over thousands of years. In conclusion, I really like these two podcasts because they were super insightful and something that was a blind spot for me as a Muslim, which is of course a Abrahamic faith. So I know a lot about Islam, and a bit about Christianity and Judaism. But the dharmic faiths such as Buddhism and Hinduism, I didn't really know that much about them. And these two podcasts were super insightful to me because of that. I hope you had a nice time listening to my podcast. Thank you.